Okay, we jump into more the horror for the Chol Amon. We had such a meaningful session last time about appreciating what the Ramchal was doing for us, what all tzaddikim v'gedolei adoros v'doreinu do for us. Whoa, how deep is Omek Adin? How deep is judgment? Right now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. It's not what we speak about mostly. And but those that want to know about Omek Adin, want to know about Schar Bonish, this is a very good place on a hashkafic level to find it. Who can stand b'yom adin? Who can justify himself? Oh, why do you wake up late for Shachris? Well, I was tired. Well, why when it was a trip did you wake up? For this you stood up, for that you didn't stand up. Why did you stand up for your rights and you didn't stand up for your neighbor's rights? That's what it means when you're stuck. Kadosh Baruch Hu knows everything. He's a very, very good lawyer. Hu adayin hu aid. When do we think about this for Bosai? I think Musa and Rosh Hashanah and Zechronos, we think about that. Mi lo nifka kiyom hazeh. Right? Mi yitzdak lifnei baruch v'asher hashkafos medakdekes hakol davar katan o gadol. His hashkaf, his viewpoint, is on everything tall or small. Right? So it's incredible, right? That what the Midas Adin is, how deep the Midas Adin is, and how far-reaching it is, and how it's on everything. I don't feel right to speak about this myself. I'm just sharing together with everybody. So what should be our reaction to this when you think about it? We should be shaken in the Schar Tamid. We should be always nervous. Every no line is going to work. No legal loophole is going to help us. Right? And he says to the person, Masecho, I've been always saying Sicha, I felt embarrassed. Kadosh Baruch Hu Pasuk in Amos, Kadosh Baruch Hu will tell his siach, what discussion is going to say. I feel sicha kalish ben ish lishto magin lo de b'shasadin. Even the sicha kal, you came home from work and you had a hard time, and your boss was bad to you, and you said lashon hara about him to your wife. Not hadracha, not a situation you had to work for. It wasn't l'toelis, there are different heterim. As your LOR, local Orthodox rabbi, what you're allowed to say, what you're not allowed to say. The lashon hara hotlines, but this you couldn't justify, right? You couldn't justify that small thing, right? And you're very, very careful about lashon hara. And in general, you learn 2 halachas a day, and you're part of the Chavetz Chaim Heritage Foundation. You made the videos, you watched the videos, you learned Shmiras Halashon and other Sfarim, and you made shurim, and you were medakdek, etc. And one time at night you said to your wife something unnecessary. Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to mention that. You remember? You remember Tuesday? No, I don't remember, Kadosh Baruch Hu. You do remember. Let's remember. You want to see the tape? Here it is. There it is. My boss is such a... Good. I feel a small, nothing conversation. He's going to remember that. Od Amru, and this is what we'll spend a lot of time in the next session. Usvivav Nisaramod, and around him it's very stormy. Sa'ar. I think it means Nisaro. I think the shin and the sin makes change. Melamed, famous statement, Shekadosh Baruch Hu, and explains a lot of very important hashkafic statement. Medaktik im chasidik chudasar. Kadosh Baruch Hu is very medaktik im chasidik. Sometimes one wonders, how did tzaddikim get so punished? Because Kadosh Baruch Hu was extra medaktik on them. Okay, just like a coach can be extra medaktik on a person who has the greatest potential. Right? I tried the most to get the most out of you because I saw you wanted greatness and you had the potential for greatness. The other boys on the team were coming to play high school basketball, but I saw you could make it in the NBA and make millions of dollars and have a decent parnasa, whatever. They probably didn't use the word parnasa back then. And I know you wanted that. I had to be tough on you. I had to grind you. And that's what good coaches are. The other boys are playing high school basketball. We want to win, okay. But then they're going on to college. They'll go on business, real estate, maybe yeshiva. But you were built for greatness. And we'll see many, many examples. We continue. Okay. Again, I just want to reflect a second. And this is the last level. This is the level 3. There's the Shlemi Adas, there's the Pchusim, and then there's the Hamonam. Rabosai. What do we see here? We spoke last time about how much the Ramchal loves Klal Yisrael. And how much, from as high as he is, how much he's penetrating into our world. But this is how far he went. This shows us where the Jewish people was. The Ramchal felt, why did he write, if it would be today, you wouldn't stop there. You wouldn't stop there. Rabbeinu Ramchal would not. This chapter would be a lot longer today. He'd have to come up with a lot more stuff, right? And that's why, at first, let me just say clearly, if these svaras move you, in any one of them, like we discussed before, even if you don't think you're generally Shlemi Adas, if that gets you, do it. It's all about results. Dollars and cents, or B'Yisrael Salanter, do it. If Kavod does it for you, do it. If Schar V'Onesh does it, do it. But just do it. I'm speaking to myself. Get results. More Torah mitzvahs, less Bittul Torah, less Lashon Hara, more Chesed, less Sinas Chinam, all the good stuff. Whatever is going to get you to get there, and don't let perfection of Lishma be the ma'akev to the greatness of a life of Torah mitzvahs as much as possible. That's the overall lessons of this Perek. But this was the stopping point. He didn't have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He didn't say. Puerto Rican vacation. He didn't need to say that. Klal Yisrael was on a level that there were Shlemi Adas, there were Pchusim, and there was the Hamonam. And speaking to the Hamonam about Schar V'Onesh got them there. Believe me, speaking to the Hamonam about Schar V'Onesh today will not get them there. That means Klal Yisrael was at an amazing madrega back then. It's nice to know. Hashivenu Avinu Chadesh Yemenu Kikedem. That's the Chadesh Yemenu Kikedem. A lot of greatness in our generation. We're a lot of lacking in our generation also. I think sometimes people emphasize too much this, sometimes people emphasize too much that. In my humble opinion, IMOHOP. IMHO. In a certain way, we have a greatness of generation, Dorshel Gula. Yeah, there's also Dorshel craziness. Not just outside, inside. What works us? The fact that this doesn't move us so much. Back then it moved them. I think it's a nice thing to know that 300 years ago, whenever the Ramchal wrote this exactly, I forgot the exact dates, but 250, 200, 300 years ago, Klal Yisrael was on a level that there were Shlemi Adas, that there were Pchusim, and there were Hamonam. And speaking to Hamonam about Schar V'Onesh was enough to get them there. That the Ramchal knew would bring the nations along. Klal Yisrael was on a very, very high level. I thought that was a nice point to bring out. And tomorrow, next time, Bezrat Hashem, we'll learn more about the different the examples of how Kadosh Baruch Hu is medaktik im chasidav kechut hasara.